Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the PozCast. I'm Matthew.
I'm Logan.
I'm Keith.
I'm Derek.
Jared.
Matt.
And today, the NBA is live and ready. We got 6 people, 5.5, ready to discuss the NBA, including a couple of massive trades. We're going to start with the smaller ones, though. Let's start
the nobodies.
Let's start with Derek White, because I know...
No, not Derek White.
That's not a small trade.
Casey, he got traded.
Speaking of small trades,
Bro, I actually
Derek White.
Well, he's actually pretty good, though. I mean, the difference is that's a good trade, but like, why would this?
I feel like Richardson is like the exact same.
But Josh Richardson is significantly older. He's not that much older than
Derek White has more potential.
I would agree with what Keith said. I think there's a lot of potential for Derek White. I don't know how I feel about Derek White for Josh Richardson, with the Spurs getting nothing else but a guy they're going to buy out their contract on. So it's here, take Derek White.
Didn't they also get a first-round pick?
No, literally just Derek White and Josh
Brad
Richardson
Stevens
swapped.
tweeted an hour ago.
Really?
Says we'll be looking to fill out our roster with multiple skilled players, including a couple of anticipated additions later today. Ooh, what does that
now
mean?
we're in the
G League.
We're in the buyout market now, so you're going to see a lot of people whose contracts get bought out, whether they were just traded or people that got failed to get traded, like a certain $37 million contract with Russell Westbrook.
I'm going to be very sad if the Bulls do not buy out Tristan Thompson.
Well, Tristan Thompson, I don't think is getting bought out by the Pacers, so that's going to be the interesting part. Is
not cool by them.
Well, why would they buy out Tristan Thompson? I mean, they should.
If their team sucks and Tristan Thompson costs them good money.
I don't even know if Tristan Thompson... I think he might be on a veteran's minimum contract. I literally don't think he's doing anything against them.
Regardless, the Bulls need him.
Yes,
because
so the Pacers should be helpful.
Yeah, he'll save the Bulls franchise right there.
Yeah.
Are you guys disappointed the Bulls didn't go for a move yesterday?
I didn't expect anything.
Not necessarily, because they were... Like, the trade was never going to happen without Patrick Williams. And we just do not want to trade Patrick Williams. And he's coming back, like, mid-March. So, like, what's the point of giving up Patrick Williams, who has the potential to be better than Jeremy Grant, and just like I don't understand the point of giving him up now. You know?
The only reason you would have given up Pat Williams is if you're swinging for the championship now, which would have been okay. But Pat Williams is the future, so
yeah.
You don't sound very confident.
Well,
on
no,
that.
I mean he's part of our future, and we would have had to give up a first too. So
next Kawhi Leonard. So
I like the way Karnisovas played it.
Yeah, he's totally going to become Kawhi Leonard, one of the greatest players in NBA history. The other team that did not make any trades yesterday, Knicks, no one cares. Lakers.
Agreed.
Lakers didn't make a move. There was some rumblings that Russell Westbrook was going to get traded, but
they're going to do something in buyout, though. You know, the GM is going to let this continue.
Does John Wall get bought out from the Houston Rockets? I think that's the big question, because nobody made a trade for him.
I'm so surprised that the Lakers didn't. I mean, I know they tried to.
Well, Russell Westbrook for John Wall, Houston wanted the more side of the deal, so they wanted Russ and picks instead of it being John Wall and picks for Russ.
There was a trade. It was like Russell Westbrook, a 2027 first-round pick for John Wall, Christian Wood, and there was someone else from the Lakers too.
The Rockets wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
the Rockets declined that.
The Rockets aren't giving up Christian Wood.
And apparently that's when ended talks. They're like, "Are you stupid?" Christian Wood was the future of their team, I think, and they're going to try and build around him and Jalen Green. So even though it's an unbelievably dysfunctional
James
franchise.
Harden looks like a good player in the Sixers jersey. I just want to add that. He looks very good.
Yeah, wait until he decides to add 15 pounds to his diet. But we won't worry about that now.
He's gonna be eating all those Philly cheesesteaks.
Philadelphia cheesesteaks.
Going back to the no Russell Westbrook trade, of course the Wizards are going to want more. What does bringing in Russell Westbrook do for them?
The Rockets, but yeah.
Triple doubles.
What did I say, the Wizards?
Yeah, you did say the Wizards.
The Lakers getting John Wall could potentially help them. The Rockets getting Russell Westbrook again, like, it's just going to slow down the tank.
Yeah.
You're going to win, like, 5 more games and chemistry is going to suck because Russell Westbrook's going to, like, get in Christian Wood's head and be like, you are so good. And then, he's just going to be one of those players. So, I don't know.
Honestly,
makes sense to me.
Good point there. All right, let's talk about the trade that I think a lot of people were shocked by yesterday and that literally I don't think anybody wins. Tingus Pingus. Kristaps Porzingis gets traded to the Wizards?
Yeah, that was...
To the Wizards.
They're building their own cow.
For Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, what happened here? Why would this trade be necessary for either team? And the Mavericks Why did the Mavericks make this move? I think that's the real question. Wizards actually, I think, get good out of this, but I don't see what the point is for Dallas. I heard there was a falling out between Luka and KP, and KP didn't want to play for him again, so that's why he has not played. I mean, he's dealing with a knee issue, but some have said would have been able to come back. So is it too late in Porzingis' career for him to rebound because of all the injuries, or do we think he can still become a superstar in Washington?
He is 7'3". He should be able to rebound even with injuries.
I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but I think he's not going to have as big of a role, I guess. But I think he's still going to be decent for the team. The only thing is the Mavericks, they don't have size anymore unless you count Maxi Kleber and Boban. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Matt, I'm interested to hear your side. What do the Mavericks do from here? Is this something that Luka says, whoa, what is this franchise? I want out of here? Or is he going to be the guy like a Damian Lillard who doesn't want to leave here?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of nobodies on the Mavs that are Luka's just carrying the team at every single point, every single game. There's those they have a bunch of role players on their team.
Tim Hardaway Jr. looks good. Once a month he looks good.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna add Kristaps, and that's gonna be a big name. But he wasn't really he was great, but he didn't really do much. They gotta add they gotta add someone that could actually make a change there, and then Luka will probably stay. But I think Luka just he wouldn't know where to go. That's the only reason he's staying.
I think Luka's gonna want to be a Maverick. I don't think Mark Cuban will ever let Luka Doncic ever leave the Dallas
See, I agree.
Mavericks.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Honestly, at this point, sign Dirk to a 10-day.
What jersey?
Yeah, I don't think that's the only thing that's going to do is
German
delay his Hall of
Jesus.
Fame enshrinement. So, but the one thing I'm interested to hear in this part is I still can't fathom Porzingis in a Wizards jersey. I look at it and I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
This makes no sense to me.
Bertans.
I kind of hope. Oh yeah, and that too. You get rid of a $15 million contract,
Yeah,
but
that's-
the Wizards, big win in this trade. They have nothing to lose. They need height, they need size, and they get Porzingis. Well, Mavericks just crap on themselves.
See, I don't get either side of the trade because, like you guys said, the Mavs need height, so they got rid of their only height.
Well, they need height that
And-
knows how to play basketball.
Well,
Well, what's wrong with the Wizards
So-
side of the trade? I'm interested to hear your side on that.
Yeah.
why do you need Kristaps? You don't need another power forward.
Why do you not need Kristaps?
I don't know.
I'd rather have Kristaps than Spencer Dinwiddie
Okay,
and
but-
Davis Bertans.
But to me, Kristaps, we've already seen the best of Kristaps. I don't think he gets.
Ooh.
I do not think he gets better than what he was in New York. Because since New York, let's think about it. It's been 3 years now, and he's gone only downhill. Kristaps.
He had a good rebound this year.
I think
Until,
he did.
Kristaps is a good starter. I do not think he'll make an All-Star game.
but there's nothing that
I
that
do not
hurts
think
for Washington.
Dinwiddie will make an All-Star game.
I think the
but-
Wizards are still trying to fight for a playoff spot this year, and by getting
the thing is, they don't
And
need
by-
Kristaps
I
to
don't
play
know.
like an all-star level.
They need players to somehow compensate for Bradley Beal being out. And I know Kristaps Porzingis isn't exactly an all-star, but
Disrespectful.
having Kyle Kuzma and Kristaps Porzingis with that size, and both of them are talented. It's not like they're not all-stars, but
I think it's funny that the minute the Lakers get rid of Kuzma, he actually becomes a piece for the Wizards to build around for their future. The Lakers lost that trade. As we go back to Russ for who else was there? Kyle Kuzma. Who else did the Wizards
Lonzo.
get? Who else did the Wizards get?
Oh, I thought you were talking about just left the Lakers in general.
Well, Bledsoe was on the Lakers.
Kuzma,
What the hell?
Contavious Caldwell Pope.
Oh God! And they got a
Um,
couple picks, right? This was, the Lakers are. You want to talk about something? I saw this on from Woj just today. Let this be a lesson that super teams don't work anymore in this stage of the NBA. How do you guys feel about that take? Because you think about it, the Nets only got 16 games of this so-called Big Three,
And they're 13-3 when all of them play.
I was about to say that's not a super team if they're not playing together.
okay.
But then
At
the
the
Lakers.
same time, I
but then the
hope
Lakers,
that's true.
But then there's the Lakers who completely fell apart.
well,
and
Russell
they,
Westbrook.
They're not a super team. They have Anthony Data Davis
They
and
had-
Westbrook.
they also have Dwight Howard.
They had big names at a certain point. They're not big names anymore.
Okay, super teams can work, but you have to like if you look at the Bulls, if you look at the Suns, you have to have a super team like that, like Chris Paul, Devin Booker,
Where the
Correct.
yeah, where the
guys that
pieces
can work
fit together.
together.
Yeah.
Zach
People that
Levine.
know that they don't need the ball every
Exactly.
possession.
Zach Levine, DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Caruso, Nikola.
But that's not a super team. That's just a good team. You know what I'm
But
saying?
Are you telling me
DeRozan's
Vucevic, Levine, and DeMar DeRozan
Yeah.
isn't the super team?
DeRozan's an MVP candidate. Zach LaVine was almost an all-star starter, and Vucevic was an all-star last year easily.
Mm-hmm.
So
They are a super team by. They're a super.
If
they're
you're
not-
all,
they're
if you're
not,
saying
like,
super
Nets
team, if you're saying super team by just like a like
Dynasty.
you have 3 all-star starters, then
Yeah.
I don't believe those are gonna work.
That's what that's literally the point of
But
a super team.
if you're saying like they become a super team by being a very good team because you have like 2 all-star starters, and
like
and
the
then you
Warriors
got
were a
great role
super team
players.
because you brought in KD to with
Right,
Steph
but
and Clay.
Steph and Clay are so good that they understand that they're not going to get the ball every possession. But LeBron and Russ and AD all want the ball every single possession. I think LeBron's the only person that understands to pass the ball, even though it's LeBron. He wants the ball.
Well, I think that's mostly Westbrook when he does that little dribble pull out off the
Okay.
backboard.
Hits
Yeah.
the top of
Hits
the
top of
backboard.
it.
Yeah.
to me, what it comes down to is ego. Are
Yeah.
you willing to give up instead of scoring 30 points? You
100%.
score
that's what
24?
I'm saying. I
Yeah.
said
And-
I posted that yesterday.
And
Like
you
egos.
look at Brooklyn, you look at the Lakers, and it's not working, and you wonder why. It's because all 3 of those guys are first ballot Hall of Famers who think they're the second coming of Jesus. But you look
And
at
one
the,
of them thinks
you look
he
at
is
the Bulls.
Jesus.
You look at the Bulls,
Kyrie
and you have you look at the Bulls, and you look at the Suns, and you look at Milwaukee, and you have 2 or 3 really good players who are all-star caliber level, but they play like just that. They're all-stars. They're not MVPs.
Yeah,
Everyone on the Nets is going for an MVP.
Wait, Giannis? Are you talking about?
Huh?
You just said they're not.
That,
You just said wait. You
No,
just
no,
said
no,
they're
no.
not MVPs, but there's Giannis.
no, I'm. That was a mishap.
L.
However, Giannis is the only one. Chris Middleton's not fighting for an MVP. Neither is Drew
No,
Holiday.
you don't say.
So
Chris Middleton MVP candidate. What are y'all talking about?
cash for MVP, baby.
No,
But
wait,
no,
cash and
see, yeah, I don't know. That's
no,
the end of my take.
you're good.
I wanted to add that DeMar DeRozan is like, I feel like he's the perfect player because he was like humbled at San Antonio and he like lost so much, and then like when you don't play as like when you know you're a great player and like you had a very good season or two and then you play really bad, you kind of get the mentality you're like, damn, like do I suck now? But
you
then
get like
like
a chip on your shoulder.
but yeah, exactly. And then you come back and you're like, no, like I could still play. I feel like that's the best kind of player, and that's
Well,
what DeMar DeRozan
You
is.
also got to think on the Spurs. Who did he have to work off of?
Correct.
Garbage DeJounte
Garbage.
Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
A pre-All-Star DeJounte Murray.
I also don't
Bulls-
think they're like DeMar DeRozan was working with like Greg Popovich. Like, I mean, Greg Popovich is a great coach, but his defense and offense, like, they just weren't working with DeMar.
I mean, and then DeMar obviously on the Bulls, him and Zach LaVine work well together, as
Yeah.
well as Lonzo, and then having Vucevic, that big presence in the paint, at least on offense. He
Yeah, I think
isn't that good defensively. But
DeRozan and Levine have been doing a great job sharing the ball, which is something we don't see from every other super team.
Our point guards also love to pass the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
except
And
they're both
Io-
injured.
Except when Grayson Allen decides
Not
to try and
Io.
kill one of them. But, you know.
Io had a stretch a few weeks ago where 4 games straight he was averaging double-digit assists.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
team that much better when you get guys back? Like, guys
Yes.
like Alex
Yeah.
Caruso, guys, you guys
You get
think...
you get a
Of
deeper
course.
bench.
You have the best defensive backcourt in the league.
We're talking-
Do you believe this team can truly contend for a finals championship this year with the teams they have to play? I want this answer from Logan, who is a Bulls fan. I want it. You don't think so?
They need a big-time center
Yeah.
who can defend the paint. And Joel Embiid is 10-0 against us in his career, 3-0 this year. At every single time, he has just absolutely destroyed us. And until we get a guy who can stop a big in the paint,
So do you
It's not
think
gonna
trade
happen.
Vooch away for someone in like a package deal or something?
No, I say they
Well, it's too late for that now.
they'd have to
but-
double bigs.
Yeah,
I-
correct. Not this year.
Yeah.
Not this year.
I don't know if I'd trade Vooch straight up, but if the situation arised, I wouldn't be against it or arose.
Like they could do
But,
Kobe White and
um,
like a first and try to get a decent.
Why would that,
big.
dude? Kobe is so good. Why would you ever
They
trade
have
with Kobe
Ayo.
White?
Your guard depth.
Ayo?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But no, I see the only way I see the Bulls making a finals run is if they get so lucky with the seeding if someone
Yeah.
beats Philly before us, then we play Brooklyn and like KD's out or something like that.
Or if they just turn it to some like completely different, like so much better team.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like the Celtics in 2018. I think it was 2018 with Terry Rozier. He just came out and like slapped everybody. If something similar happens to the Bulls, then that would be like
Tony
really fun to
Bradley's
watch.
gonna go nuts in the playoffs against Joel Embiid.
We've talked about 6 or 7 different Eastern Conference teams, and there's one team we literally have not mentioned it at all, I don't think, and that's Cleveland.
Yeah.
That
Cleveland is my
Cleveland.
sleeper team.
Yeah, he said it before this. Why do you think Cleveland can contend?
They match up. I think they match up amazing against a lot of teams. Just with two, they're just so lengthy, such a lengthy team to where I think they have a better chance. Maybe not like guarding Giannis, but containing him. Not guarding like Joel Embiid, but like containing him. And
I like that answer a lot. I think the thing with the Cavaliers is you have 2 really young guys in the front court. Both you play 2 7-footers almost. You play 3 7-footers every game. When Markkanen is healthy, he's your small forward.
And then
when Evan Mobley is 7'1", 7 foot,
I think
whatever.
he's 7 flat.
And then so is Jared Allen. All 3 of them, big body guys.
And Darius Garland.
And Darius Garland, who is having a huge year, and Sexton might come back for the playoffs. We'll see, probably not. But honestly,
even
they need
if
him because Karis LeVert they got now too. I don't even know if they need him. So
even with Sexton out, he was having an awful season when he did play for this few weeks or whatever.
Well,
They
so did
should
Michael
just
Porter
trade
Jr.
Sexton at this point.
Yeah.
do you think there's a lot of people that
They
think that you can
should've.
build around him?
No.
You can build around Sexton, Sexland,
Build
and
along-
Mobley.
I think Darius
Sexton.
Garland is your new guy, and that's all you need.
Mobley too. I think
Yeah.
that's a good team. I think there's going to be in free agency. You're going to see a lot of people who want to play for Cleveland. So, the one thing now I want to shift gears because we got to get to this. We have avoided it all video as well. Big
Podcast.
trade. We are podcasting. Big trade yesterday. Philadelphia 76ers and Brooklyn Nets. James Harden was traded to the Sixers for That felt good. All
And
right.
Seth Curry.
And Andre Drummond.
Don't forget about Paul Millsap.
I love how we were joking about Paul Millsap being on the Nets the other day. It's like one of the garbage power
And 2
forwards.
first-round picks.
And 2 first-round picks.
I think the only thing the Sixers did right in this trade was not give up Matisse Thybulle. Other than that, the Nets just
Fleece.
stole. Yeah, like
This
it's
is what
awful.
Charles Barkley said yesterday. You have 2 years. Philadelphia
Yeah,
has 2
exactly.
years. If you do not win, Philadelphia is losing James Harden to free agency, and Joel Embiid
Is pissed.
probably going to
Yeah.
leave as well. This is it. You have 2 years to make this work. If it fails, you are back to trust the process with literally nobody except maybe a 38-year-old Paul Millsap. So
See, I think Philly made the right decision because
I do not.
I do
disagree.
I do not think they were going to win the finals this year with their roster. I think they needed a second big-time scorer. So now you're running out Harden, Embiid, and Tobias Harris, and I think that team can work. If you don't win, you're not winning the finals in the next 2 years with Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris.
I want to just say something real quick. James Harden has proven to be a diva.
Correct.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get what he wants, he's leaving.
Well, right. But
Period. He is going to win a championship,
Okay,
and he
so what
doesn't
if he
care
gets-
what he rips through on the way.
What-
So
If they get it-
fail, he's gone. There is no way he's here for more than a year.
That's if they fail.
fail.
So-
They're gonna fail.
so
They
Why do
don't
you
have
think
what
they're
it
going
takes.
to?
I don't think they have what
So
it takes to win.
you-
I don't.
Okay.
you, if you're a Sixers
That's not
fan,
enough.
if you're a Sixers fan, you're saying you'd rather have Ben Simmons not playing this year.
Yeah, no. You made
So
the move.
essentially-
You gave up your future. You gave up 2
Right,
first-round
right,
picks.
But if you're not winning in the next 2 years,
That is not your
Embiid's going to be
future.
gone anyway. You think Embiid is in his prime right now.
if you understand that you at least left a future for you,
Harden
for
is coming out of his
Philadelphia,
prime, but he's still obviously very, very good. Harden is an upgrade from Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and who else did they give up? Or was it
Paul
two
just
Millsap.
first-round picks.
2 firsts.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah, correct. But this team, so
Amani
essentially
Bates.
with the 2021-2022 76ers roster, you don't have Ben Simmons. So you are upgrading Seth Curry and Andre Drummond to James Harden.
Yeah,
And-
but if it doesn't win this year, you're screwed.
or next year. Yes, but
I don't think they can
But
win
you
next
need you need to do that if you want to keep Embiid either way. Because if you're not making the finals, Embiid's not staying.
I don't agree with that. Because
I do.
I think that Joel Embiid, when you understand that there is a future to be built and people are going to want to come play for Philadelphia, people don't want to play with James Harden anymore.
Who's come to Philadelphia in the last few years to play with Embiid?
Jimmy
Curry.
Butler.
Seth Curry and Andre Drummond.
Better yet, who wants to go to Philadelphia to play with Ben Simmons? They're like,
I was waiting for the Ben Simmons. It never came. But nobody. Well,
I think
Brooklyn
both
seems
teams
very
want that.
excited about getting Ben Simmons. I want to point that out. I think there's a lot of excitement with what they can bring. And now Brooklyn reverses what could have been a massive curse that ended their dynasty again. Because what they can do now is they
so
have
much
a young
future
right.
now.
They have so much future now with Ben Simmons, KD, and then half man, half not playing. Kyrie Irving is what was it that Charles Barkley said yesterday? I forget, but the difference is they're going to have success for the next 5-10 years. Philadelphia is not. So this
Unless
is
they win a championship. However, if they don't win a championship,
there's too much risk involved, is what I'm saying.
sometimes you need to take big risks. If you
I
win a
don't think
championship.
getting Harden was the mistake. It was how much they had to give up to
I
get
agree,
him.
100% agree with what he said.
But again, I'm going to bring up the point. Who is coming to play with Embiid? They've been trying to make trades for years to bring someone in. They've been trying to make trades for years to bring someone in to play with Embiid, and they can't get anything done.
Yeah, see,
So-
there's that argument that
So
can be made.
if you can go out there and get first ballot future Hall of Famer, former MVP, still very, very good James Harden.
Who's
the
gonna
pick and roll? If in the
Who's
Eastern,
going to cry and have load management if he doesn't get his way?
I
Agreed.
honestly agree with Logan because if James Harden, when he has a good big like Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris to take.
What
some of
happened
the
last
scoring
time he had a
load.
good big? Did they do anything? No.
But listen, James Harden, like yes, he's a good scorer, but James Harden is willing to pass the ball. Like he's a great passer, as we've seen.
Yeah, this isn't Houston Rockets James Harden. He'll actually pass.
He will pass the ball. Like I think him and Joel Embiid can work. Now I also agree with Jared that they gave up way too much for James Harden. That I agree with. But I do think James Harden going to the 76ers, I think they're one of the top finals
I think
contenders easily.
there's too many possible negatives that outweigh the potential positives of this situation. I think Brooklyn has set themselves up better. It doesn't mean that Harden and Embiid can't succeed.
Well,
because I think they can.
You have to think they're again.
Do you think they can beat a Phoenix Suns team in the West? Do you
Yes.
think you think so? I
Yes.
don't. I don't think they
Okay,
can.
Absolutely not.
Honestly,
No.
They don't have. It's James Harden, Joel Embiid, and Wheeling High School.
Tobias Harris.
Oh,
Tyrese
sorry,
Maxey,
and Matisse Thybulle.
That's a good roster.
What does Tobias Harris do in the playoffs?
Okay,
He shoot threes.
I want you guys.
dies.
I want you guys to consider this. So teams in the East, you're game planning around Joel Embiid. He's having an MVP type year. No one can stop him. He is
Giannis
tearing,
can stop
He is
Joel
tearing
Embiid.
teams up. Okay, you put Giannis on Embiid, whatever. Embiid only scores 25. If you're focusing on Joel Embiid, think of how many shots Harden's getting.
Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to be unbeatable.
Drew
but I'm
Holiday,
saying
Chris Middleton, and Giannis, I think, can easily
Yeah.
take down
that.
Harden
So,
and Embiid.
are you saying
I do
Milwaukee's
not
your
believe-
finals pick?
Yes.
I believe
think-
we could very easily see a rematch this year.
Are you saying Milwaukee? So Milwaukee's your finals
right
pick?
now,
Milwaukee
if I had to
is
pick,
my
I'm
finals
picking
pick as
Milwaukee.
well.
Yes.
Okay.
If I had to pick right now, I'm picking Milwaukee. Miami could definitely get in this race, but I don't think they have enough.
I don't think.
Brooklyn
the
Brooklyn
Bulls
not,
would get it. before
Brooklyn will
Miami.
not escape
that's
the
not
first
true,
round.
because the Heat have more of a chance of guarding Giannis than the Bulls do.
I do not believe
That is
Brooklyn's
true.
escaping the first round
Bulls
because
will
they're going to
be
be stuck in such a situation where they're 5 or 6 seed, and unless they play Cleveland, I don't think they're going to get anywhere. And even if they do play Cleveland, I think Cleveland can make a statement on
Yeah,
them.
I
so.
think Cleveland has a better chance than the Heat or Bulls at beating the Bucks in a 7-game series.
If the Bulls don't get some type of big presence off of the bench, then I agree that I don't think.
If Philadelphia was in the West, we'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah.
They are in the Eastern Conference. And, I mean, there are 7 or 8 teams I think could legitimately make it to the finals right now from the East. There are so many good teams there. West is, oh God, Kings are probably making the playoffs. But we didn't get to that trade. Can we go real quick on that before we got to finish? There was a lot of talk about this. I think the Kings snag this one over the Pacers. Sabonis goes to the Kings, but Tyrese Halliburton goes to the Pacers. They give up your future.
Pacers win that one.
I understand why people would be mad about that trade.
Yeah, I don't like this trade.
But like I'm all for keeping guys who Tyrese Halliburton's probably the only guy that actually wanted to stay in Sacramento. So I understand.
But what about Harrison? No, he probably wanted to leave too.
Harrison Barnes.
But I think through all of that, I think people forget how good Domantas Sabonis can be when he has people to work around.
And in his first game in 25 minutes, he dropped 22, 14, and 8. So
Yeah,
again, a lot of important things to note there.
In my opinion, I think they should have waited for Tyrese to develop more, get more value, and then trade him away.
If they're gonna wait for him to develop, then at that point you might as well just keep him.
Yeah, but then if you need a big, and then you can trade Tyrese, maybe you can get even more than Sabonis.
Derek and Matt were not even a full year old the last time the Kings made the playoffs. My point here, they wanted a playoff.
You know when I was born, Matty?
I mean, you're a junior. I think I can make the assumption they didn't make it. 2004 was the last time they made the playoffs. So I think the assumption can be made here with this. The Kings wanted a playoff berth for the first time in a long time to prove, hey, we want people in Sacramento. We can make a playoff run. We've built a core good enough. This was the point I think they wanted to make. So they bring in Domantas Sabonis. They bring in De'Aaron Fox. They have $100 million in cap space.
Yeah.
They have so much money to sign anybody they want to. I think Sacramento's going to be a really good team in the next 3 or 4 years, and with the West dwindling in talent, they could be a team that contends for a finals.
They need defense.
I just wish they didn't have to give up Halliburton.
Yeah.
Like
Halliburton, I wish they didn't give up, but it was probably either that or Fox.
Yeah.
I think this was another trade that was actually good for both teams because the Pacers, you need to tear it down and rebuild. You are not going anywhere building around Sabonis. It wasn't going to happen. You were pretty healthy this year, and you were 19-37. You can look at them, say they're a good team, whatever. It wasn't working.
You're on Orlando's level. That's when you know something's got to get torn down.
So they go and they get Halliburton. That's a great young piece to build around. He was tearing it up in Sacramento before the trade.
I would agree.
And then with Sacramento's side, the only thing I don't like is that Halliburton actually wanted to play there, like you guys said.
Well, that's where his career started, but in 2 years, he's not going to care.
Aside from that, they get Sabonis. They're probably going to get a playoff berth with this team, whether it's this year or next year. And then, like Matthew said, they have the cap space to go and sign someone. And I was telling this to Matthew the other day. Say, not that this player specifically would go there or anything, but say they get a player like Jason Tatum, who's fed up with their team, and they're like, I just want to go somewhere else and play with some other stars. You sign a Jason Tatum or like, I don't know, this would never happen, but like an Anthony Edwards or something like that. You get your third. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm just listing a young player like that.
I understand
a young superstar to come play with them. You have De'Aaron Fox, Tatum, and Sabonis. That is a great core. That is a team that in 5 years, 10 years, when you have Durant retiring,
hey,
LeBron's
maybe James
gone,
Harden will jump ship when the Sixers fail.
That's a team that I could see making a finals run.
I really hope Tatum doesn't lead this.
Yeah, I don't think Tatum
he's going
would,
to. Yeah,
just a
Jaylen
superstar
Brown
player
might be
like that.
Jaylen
I
Brown
hope
might be
Jaylen
the
Brown
guy.
doesn't lead.
Jaylen Brown might be the guy that.
I mean,
hop ship.
if we're being
You
honest,
could send Rob Williams.
the Celtics
They both deserve better.
Yeah, they do.
The Celtics got to do something like soonish because like they've had a few years with the two.
Dude,
and they're
they
not
were.
doing.
The
It's
Celtics
not even like.
The
like,
Celtics
they were
didn't want
good.
Brad Stevens because Brad Stevens wasn't a good coach. So here, you weren't great. Let's
That's
promote you to
messed up
general
to say.
manager.
Brad Stevens was top 5 coach in the league.
Yeah, and then they decided to go in a different direction. And yesterday, his general manager skills showed that he's not a general manager.
The Celtics were so solid. Like, it just doesn't, like, they just, I don't know what happened.
Hey, they got Derek White.
Like they can be very good. It's not like they just need to fix something, like play basketball better or something.
Can you please explain to me why they traded Bol Bol and PJ Dozier
For a
second
second
round pick in 2025? Please explain. It's
that's
like,
one
here,
that's
take-
gonna be the future.
That
Bronny
2025, that 2025 draft class is gonna be stacked, man. I promise you.
They get Bronny.
With the 57th pick in the 2026
Hey, if you get Bronny, that means you
NBA
get
draft,
LeBron.
the Boston Celtics select Matthew Meyer
From Baylor.
from Baylor. All right, guys, we're cutting it close on time here, so we're going to cut it off here. This was a very good episode, very enjoyable to record. Thank you guys so much for watching. The ceremonial yawn. Derek, thank you so much for the 2 words spoken. Way to go. Let's go. Have a good day, everybody. Peace.